Narrator 7602, and I'm starting off Bleach with Season 1. And not believe the original name for this was called the Substitute. As I said before, when Rukia gives Ichigo her Soul Reaper ability, he becomes a Soul Reaper. Being a Soul Reaper means that he has to do the job of a Soul Reaper itself, meaning that he will have to fight Hollows on a daily basis. Now, Ichigo is really concerned because of his school life as well. Because if he has to jump into action, nobody can take his place for him. And every time he changes into a Soul Reaper, he leaves his body there like it's supposed to be asleep, or like nothing really bad's supposed to happen to it. But as we all know, everybody starts freaking out because Ichigo passed out and went all Soul Reaper on everything. So now that always leaves certain issues. Well, what happens is when he became a Soul Reaper, multiple things started happening. He started using his job as time away from school. Yeah, he takes down hollows in his lunch period, somewhat like that. And what happens is, one episode in particular I like this. He had to fight the hollow that I believe that the hollow that killed his mother when he was younger. Hollow killed his mother when he was younger. Reason why Ichigo only lives with his dad. And I would say the dad is kind of abusive. But then again, well, also, there are some episodes that revolve around the other characters, such as Orihime Ini, or however you pronounce it. But what happens is, one of the episodes, her brother is a hollow, and he's trying to kill her. So it's up to Ichigo to stop him, and try to prove that she needs to live, or this whole series will be going downhill from here on out. Well, being a Soul Reaper is great and all, but another person steps into the light, and his name is Uryu, who is a Quincy, and the Quincy is not unlike a Soul Reaper. They're like bitter enemies, like a vampire and a werewolf, or cats and dogs. Any of those opposites do not attract. Uryu's weapon is like a bow and arrow type thing. It's a bow and arrow. Yeah, bow and arrow. And he issues a challenge to Ichigo, claiming to see how many hollows one can kill with their individual powers. Well, Uryu bit off more than he can chew and started summoning Menos Grande. Now, in Bleach, some of the episodes kind of revolve around Spanish names. So that's why it's hard for me to pronounce some of them, because it's a Spanish thing for me. And well, he summons a Menos Grande, and he can't take it down by himself, nor does Ichigo. So both of them had to team up together and stop it. Now, I know both of them hate each other's guts, and they somewhat still do, but come on, you have to admit, you have to work together, and as the quote goes, the enemy of my enemy is also my friend. And the only way I actually picked this up was by watching a children's cartoon. Go fig. Anyways, more on that quote later. What happens is, sooner or later, word starts spreading around the Soul Society. The Soul Society is like an area, kind of like the Soul Reaper's place of business, work, home maybe. I'm not sure really. And they're divided up into 13 captains or guards. And I get into one particular one later where he's actually one of my favorite characters in the whole series, because he's just so awesome. Like that. Well, anywho, we get... Oh yeah, let me tell you the other funny episode. It's one of my best episodes for laughter. The episode when we first meet Khan. As anybody know who Khan is, he's the defective soul inside of a stuffed lion. When we first meet him, it was supposed to be Ichigo's replacement soul, or so we thought. Until a later episode tells us that he was supposed to be switched with some, I don't know, it was like some kind of duck person? I don't know. Then again, I never really can't understand the show too often. But Khan decides to wreak havoc in the worst place possible, Ichigo's school, which causes multiple issues with friends and teachers. and especially one student in particular that start throwing surprisingly the desk. The chick is that strong enough to throw a freaking desk. And at the end, Ichigo just confines his soul into a stuffed lion. So now you can beat him up with like ease. And whenever he has to jump into action, he would use cons sometimes, not all the time. And like I said before, something happened, and we meet the two other awesome characters in the show, Rinji and Byakuya. Byakuya, how do you pronounce his name? Well, they find out that Ichigo's a Soul Reaper, but not technically a actual Soul Reaper. So they come and they want to get Rukia and arrest her. It's kind of like the cops thing, but they have swords, or in this case, Zanpakutos, which are Soul Reaper's weapon, a sword, but with like a special ability. Well, what happens is Ichigo tries to fight him in his current power, and it didn't work so well for him. He got really injured. Not only that, he was saved by Urahara, the guy who owns that shop, and has those two kids that won't stop bickering. That crazy giant guy. But more on him later when we get more chances. What else starts happening is they decide Urahara that he needs to be trained in order to get Rukia back. So the best way to train him is to really get his Zanpakuto. No, literally, the sword you see in this picture is not his Zanpakuto. Anybody who watches the show knows that Zanpakuto is looks like a giant butcher's knife to me. Well, that's an awesome blade, I have to admit. But anyways, the final few episodes of the episode are like when Ichigo is like working on his hollow ability. And Ichigo is like the only character in the series that can use a hollow mask and still live. Or no, if you use it for a set amount of time, you start becoming a hollow, which is not the one thing you want to be in the right time period. And the last episode of the season was Gin Ichimaru's shadow. Oh yeah, that guy? That guy scares me, man. You don't have no idea. Well, that was season 1. Now, like I said, yep, the seasons are divided up. Yeah, the show's like divided up into like 15 seasons. So it's a lot for me to cover. Or, in that case, I haven't really watched it series too often, so then again, it could be filler. But I can go on what I can use from the novels I've been reading. Or manga. Yes. So my final thoughts on season 1. It was good. A few episodes I find funny, a few episodes were kind of just crazy, and just one in particular were just brutal. I mean, I don't know how you're able to survive getting slightly cut in the chest. I mean, if you see how many of the Bleach characters get sliced in the chest and they still live, I'm surprised. I'm surprised. I mean, I would be dead in like 1 minute flat. And like any other corrupting hero story, Ichigo does get his powers, his true Zanpakuto, the demon cutting blade Zangetsu. So join me next time when I do season 2, and I will catch. Oh wait, oh nope. I'm sorry. I misjudged my time limit. I'm sorry. Like I said, my final thoughts for this is this: good. It was good. I mean, for a first season, you really don't expect too much action. I mean, you have to wait till like a few other seasons to like really for it to pick up. Or if you don't grasp a lot of stuff, I mean, you can read the mangas. They have a book on like what's what in the whole world in the universe of Bleach. And if you want to watch Bleach, you can go on the internet, watch Bleach. You can read the manga. I guess you should just read the manga though, because I think it's just full of fillers. Some animes are like full of fillers. Fillers. So I'm reaching the end of my rope, and it's getting ready to go upon 10 minutes. So, leaving you on that note, Knight Rider 7602 signing off, and catch you guys later.